everyone. It is Monday, March. I'm even going to look at the date so I don't screw it up. 25th. This is our weekly tarot reading. As you get here in the room, say hi, throw a little emoji up. Mondays, I like to do just a general overview, and then we head straight into the reading. So as a little bit of generalness for the week, the moon's going to move through Sag, Capricorn, and Aquarius. So it could be a pretty nice week. That being said, Sag can be a little wily and a little all over the place and unfocused. So today could be like the struggle bus to really get things done. But as it shifts midweek, hi Jill, hi Paula. As it shifts midweek and then towards the end of the week, we're headed into Capricorn and into Aquarius. I think this could be nice because I think things have been pretty hyper emotional lately. All the feels, still dealing with some Pisces energy. Capricorn is the CEO. It gets things done. Capricorn only strives for the goal. Their imbalance is self-care. So watch out for like trying to get things done to make up maybe for today and tomorrow in Sag, and then forgetting to take care of yourself midweek. And then towards the end of the week, it's in Aquarius. Aquarius can be, the imbalances like can ghost on you and be really non-emotional, completely detached in the physical world, hyper emotional in the brain, super thinking, brilliant ideas, genius ideas. And they get so caught up in what they're thinking about that they forget to do the mundane earthly stuff. Hi, Joy. So this week, I think it's feeling nice. You know, it's like not super heavy. It's not super like angsty. So I think like this moon in Sag is a little transitional out of some of the major Pisces healing that we've been going through and doing. And then midweek and end of the week, it's just about thinking things through and getting things done and how are we going to get them done for the highest and greatest good. And we just want a solution. We're not emotionally attached. So I think this week's going to feel a little bit like a relief from some of the heavy emo feels of late. Good morning, Sarah. Hi. Okay, so the other bits of just generalness, the Deep Dive to Thrive sessions are on sale now through the end of April. It's a long time for the sale, but it's also a larger investment for the unicorns, and I wanted you all to have time to plan for it. So the Deep Dive Wellness sessions with me, it's a 90-minute consult. We do alignment. We talk through movement, the goals, food, and lifestyle habits and tactics. Those two back-to-back don't seem to roll off my tongue very well. Then we end with a 3-card reading to really bring in the details of the pieces that your body needs in the next 6 to 12 months to fully come into an upswing of wellness. So knowing that wellness isn't like a destination, but if you're in a place of like, this has just been going on way too long, like this is the time. So we look at the science part of it. We looked at the practical habits, and then we end up looking at the spiritual components and the channeled information that comes through, like where the blocks are and what's really preventing you, or why it's like, why haven't I just done this? I know I should do this. So please book these sessions now. 1, because they will not be on sale again this year. 2, I did this last year, and this will probably be a thing, that they go on sale in the spring in Aries season, because Aries season is the time for fresh starts and new beginnings. This is the time to implement new wellness practices and new lifestyle practices. It is the most supported in the entire year for new things, in particular when it comes to the body. Aries is the warrior and the athlete. So Aries likes to move. So if movement and setting a movement pattern and a fitness pattern has been a thing for you, this is the time to do it. These sessions are usually $375. They're 20% off, so they're $300. And I know that's still an investment, but it's so worth it. So it's an hour and a half, one-to-one time with me. Then on the back end, it's at least an hour and a half of my time to put together in full detail all the links, the emails, all the recommendations, and the timeline of how you're going to approach this and how you're going to implement this. Some of my clients do this twice a year because they like the check-in every 6 months, but most people do it once a year and just kind of like fine tune and get a little more motivation and a lot more information, because I can straddle both sides of the science portion of the wellness and the channeled information that comes through and the emotional personal spiritual connection for you. So you can go check those out. You can book those at tandygutierrez.com. They will only be on sale through the end of April, and the spots are limited. So I'm doing a little bit of traveling. So like I'm saying book it now because you want your spot. Okay. And then if you're booking and you can't find a spot for your session, email me or message me somewhere, social media, you can find me. I will find a place for you because these are big deals. These are life changers. These are game changers for real. If you are dealing with autoimmune issues, or spring seems to be this time where people are weaning down and off of some of their antidepressants. This is a wonderful support to these kinds of endeavors this year. Okay. If you all have any questions about it, just ask me. Root Camp series, hi, Erica, is still what's going on the site for your daily videos, your daily movement practice at unicornwellness.studio. So these are all really rooty, root chakra, security, stability, personal magic in the world, grounding, and really for manifestation later, late spring, early summer. So this is a lot of low core, a lot of hip, a lot of glutes, a lot of inner thigh work. So if you are not on the mat, then there'll be a link below when I'm done with this video, and there's one on this page for a 30-day guest membership to go try it out. No strings. But Root Camp is like, this is going to be these last, gosh, is it the last week of March? Holy cow. This is more of a yogic sensibility. In April, we head into more of a classical Pilates viewpoint of things. So, hi, Tracy. So just know that if that's of interest to you, getting us grounded and really anchored in our personal magic and finding that stability in the pelvis and in the hips in order to manifest later this year, because energetic is magic down there. Okay. All right, so say hi as you come in. Most of you already have, and here we go. So this reading is for, I'm going to read it so I don't screw it up, March 24th through 31st. Like I said, the moons are offering us a niceness. I mean, it's not like epic. It's not like, oh, it's going to be so amazing, but it's not heavy and it's not emo. Okay, so here we go. I'm using the Robin Wood Tarot deck today. This may be the deck you'll see for a while. It is officially spring. This tends to be my spring deck. It's more traditional and vibrant. So we'll pull a 5-card spread here and talk you through it each step of the way. So we're looking to see what the energies at play are for this week, March 24th through the 31st. Hi, Becky. And Lacey, hi. Okay, so here we go. Oh, see, yeah. I knew it. Okay, so on top of everything else, which is lovely, and it is a nicer week, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards out of a 5-card spread. I think that's a big deal. Major arcana cards, just as a reminder or the first time you're hearing it, these are about our soul evolution. These are things happening, hi Charlotte, at the like cosmic level of our soul and really at our karmic level of our soul. So the suits are day-to-day work that needs to be done and the things that are happening. And the major arcana are these major transition turning points. And I feel like, yeah, right on. Because we've had the spring equinox. We're still in Mercury retrograde, but we've come out of so much of the Pisces energy. It's still there. I mean, we still got some Neptunian, Mercurial stuff. But this is a big week of transition. And an upgrade is what it looks like, okay? And then I'm going to pull the spirit in which to move through things, our soul space oracle card. This is when things get difficult, they get challenging, confusing, they feel like a dead end. There's no way out but through, and we're always looking for the lessons. The lessons are the blessings. I'm just liking this reading more and more, okay? And then I pulled out the Archangel Oracle deck today. The angels have been loud. So again, the Archangel to invoke for protection. I often see like the weekly card of, either the angel or the goddess as someone to kind of mimic too, when you're feeling like, I'm not sure which direction to go. And so that gives us a little bit of armor to work with, right? Fake it till you make it. So it gives us the version of faking it till we make it. Okay, here we go. So the energy where we're starting at this week, and then this is going to be the overall theme that we're working with this week. This is the Lovers. Yeah. Okay. So the Lovers is number 6 is the number of love. This could be literal loving relationships in our life, right? Finally feeling supported and balanced in what we're doing. Everybody's holding their own weight. We've really vented and gotten out what we needed to hash out. And then there's kind of a breath. And then everybody goes, okay, we can do this. We're doing this together, you know? So there is this, there's a support to this week, but this is also the theme of the week, right? So know that as we go through Capricorn and Aquarius, that isn't super, they're so not emo. They're not emotional. They're not overly demonstrative, lovingly. Sorry, you guys. And I know I'm going to get the messages of like, but I am, and this is, yeah. I just mean that as a blanket statement for the energies of these zodiacs, they're not. They're very practical, very functional that we're dealing with this week. So I think the goal of this week is to get towards balance, right? This card for us always denotes balance in our masculine and feminine energies. And regardless of gender, this is about solar and lunar energy. How much to push, how much willpower to really engage and ignite, and what big steps to take forward, and maybe who to, kind of push aside a little bit. Oh, no, it's my turn. Versus the receiving and the listening and the intuition. That the goal is always balance, whether we're on the mat in a physical capacity or in our spiritual capacity. We're always striving for balance because that's where the goods are at. Anything more is out of balance, regardless of the direction. So the overall theme of this week is going to be looking for, that male and female solar lunar balance in our lives. But it's also a call out to say that it's there, and that I kind of feel like there may have been some big blowout this weekend that like, well, that was not so pretty, but you got through it. And then you're like, well, everything feels a little lighter and a little more balanced now. Sometimes you do need to express anger and frustration. Hi, Chris. To really get things to a balanced place. Remember, you can go back to the other videos of like how to work with anger and the purpose of anger. Sometimes you need to let it out and go, I need this. Right? So I think that a different way to look at the theme of this week is to really look at what needs balance. Make sure you're asking for it and not manipulating for it or being the victim to it, right? So this is beautiful. That's a beautiful theme for the week and a beautiful thing to be working with. Next steps. So the next step card is usually next steps for our highest and greatest good. Like what's kind of next on the horizon this week. This is Knight of Wands, which, you guys, this reading's really interesting, So this is practical. So this is like practical day-to-day tactics. Knight of Wands is, hi Kayla, is very much like the go-getter. Like when we talk about masculine energy and we talk about bravery, courageousness, and stepping forward and maybe pushing some people just aside, this is the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is highly creative, okay, a little wily. This is very much Sagittarius energy too. That like the next thing this week is that you may need to take like this like stride, leap forward and go, that was a little scary, but I'm going to do this, This also says don't be quiet, and there's going to be some contradiction coming. So just hold your comments on that. That the next step this week towards your highest and greatest good is about being brave and stepping forward and really charging into something. And I get this sense it's not something like totally random. It's something you've been thinking about for a long time. You're just kind of been sitting and not pulling the trigger on it because it's been winter, because it's been all the Pisces, and you're like, do I do this? Do I not? I don't feel like doing it, so I'm not. Okay, I'm listening. And now it's like, no, it's time to do now. It's time to try. Okay, so that's the next step for this week. It's very solar. It's very masculine. There's something aggressive constructively about it. Like it's a real doing, like go do. The big steps this week, how things are really going to transition for your highest and greatest good in this week. So this is a little bit of in direct opposition. You go, how's that going to work out? Because this is the Hermit. Oh, okay. So, all right. Sometimes I got to pick them up and feel them, and then they get loud. Okay. So typically the Hermit goes off into the mountains, into the woods to hibernate and to meditate. And the hermit always leaves to silence himself and really hunker down in order to be illuminated. But the intention of the hermit is to always come back down the hill into the village to teach and to share and to illuminate, right? So the hermit is the teacher. It's like I always say, I don't know any more than you all do. I'm just up ahead on the path with the flashlight. So I'm just calling back when you're going to need water. Don't trip over that stick. Hey, I had some trouble here. You might need a little extra rest before you embark on this. So the biggest steps this week is actually coming out of hermitage. Is that the right word? I might have made it up, or it has the wrong usage. So the big step this week is just to come out of your hermiting. And this, again, speaks to winter, of us hunkering down, really listening to ourselves, evaluating, reevaluation, being quiet, not taking any big risks, not starting things, not launching things, right? And so this week is like, nope, you need to take a step out. Things are in balance. And then it says the biggest piece is to really come out. So it's like coming out of the winter, coming out of your hermit stage, coming down from the mountain. What have you learned? What have you healed? What have you integrated? Now it's time to take, it's like this stage is really closing, like spring is really here. So come out of the cave. Yeah. And the hermit in this deck is a 9. So this is karmic closures. This is a cycle that's ending. I think this is like real spring. And these cards, the next ones really look like it too. Okay. The assets of this week. This is a great one. Super straightforward. This is the Hangman. And the Hangman always says to look at things from different perspectives. It doesn't mean that what you do is changing. It means how you think about it and how you approach it changes. I think the most powerful Hanged Man experience is really framing and reframing our words that can reframe our thought processes. So I'm going to, no names being named. Someone shared with me that lately that they like really, God, what was the phrasing? It was like they really ruminate on things and that they're like super hyper focused and like made it sound really stressful, right? That they're thinking about particular things they really want to achieve and that they're just like on it. It's that, gnawing of the bone over and over, in particular at bedtime. And I thought, well, hold up. If you just reframe how you're discussing that, that's some powerful manifestation. What if you're just sending all of those intentions and vibes with love and knowing that your soul really wants that and you are willing to work for it and you are just going to visualize it and imagine what it feels like really happening and get excited about being in those moments and creating those moments energetically. There's a distinct shift in the reframing out of the stressfulness into the possibility and into the magic, right? So this sits in our assets spot, meaning you all are getting better at doing that, that you really like stop yourself and go, it's not necessarily the thought that's wrong. It's the energy behind it that's important, right? Intention is everything. So stop in those places where you're feeling stressed. See if you can reframe it into, this is something that's important to me. This is something that I'm really want to have happen. So I'm going to put intention and, intention sitting, right? Instead of setting, and really living in the constructive emotions of those things happening rather than spiraling into the heightened stress of it. It really is a reframing issue. So this is in the positive aspect that you all are really constructively learning how to reframe things. Things aren't as stressful anymore, big decisions, big leaps, that you just go, I'm going to take a chance on it. It's okay. So that's great. The outcome of this week. I mean, for reals, y'all, this week is beautiful. It's the world. Okay. So this is really, this is it. This is like, dun, da, 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 the whole chapter is closed. I mean, this is the end of the major arcana. This is, the last card, Animus Mundi. This is the collective. It's often shown very female, but it really is androgynous. It's the union of two. So there is a repetition here of the energies, a feeling like you have completed something, but meaning that you've brought something into balance, because balance is completion. Right. And that you've gone from the Fool through, the Magician into the High Priestess. And then, that the story has been told, that you've made it through a whole chapter. And this is also like springtime, right? She looks like spring. This is like astrological new year. Here we go. We're beginning again. So the world card often tells us the world is your oyster. It may not feel like that, it may not seem like that, but it's true. When you work in co-creatorship with the cosmic energies, really anything could be at your fingertips. So don't aim small. Don't apologize for the things you really want. This has so much to do, with the reframing of things and learning how to reframe things to the positive. And this is not about Holly go lightly, and this is not about forgetting to do the practical day-to-day bits, but to understand how to keep both in balance. The magic, the intentions, the energy, the emotions, the frequency, along with the food, water, shelter doing. We have to keep both in balance. So the end of the week is beautiful. And I almost see, like, for some of you, like something really big happening, like that you've been waiting for, that like this is the outcome that you've been waiting for. That's a yes. Well, that's a good week. That's what I have to say. Okay. And the spirit in which to move through things. The spirit in which to move through things this week is pleasure. Okay. So when we think about the spirit in which to move through things, right? When things get difficult, when they get frustrating, when you feel like there's, like a dead end and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know where the road goes. I'm not sure what to choose and what decision to make, fate and free will, right? Then you take on pleasure. What would be the most pleasurable thing in that scenario? What would you really like to do? So this week, make sure that you're moving through things with pleasure. It would be my pleasure to do that for you. You need to reschedule? My pleasure. You know what I mean? Like, again, this reframing, it's not changing things and it's not making them something they're not. It's just about really working through, instead of battling and fighting something. I mean, it's so antiquated, y'all. It's about creating beautiful things and protecting things. So what can you do out of pleasure? What can you make? What can you give? It's really time to drop that. I'm fighting against this and I'm fighting and I'm trying so hard. That is outdated mechanisms. Ditch it. Because that energy and frequency is ego. That energy and frequency is fear. And guess what that produces? So make sure you're focused on what would bring me pleasure. What would I like to do? I know that's a hard question. Sometimes people can't answer that. Like, I don't know. Then go try some things. Okay, I did not like doing that. Okay, that's off the list. Oh, I did like doing this. I might like doing this. Let me see if I can go try, right? Okay, so that's a beautiful way to move through the week. So just look at things and the way you're answering and the way you're responding. Can you do this for me? Yes, that would be my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. My pleasure. I mean, this is funny. I think this is the phrase this week. This helps change the resonance, right? Because gratitude sometimes feels disingenuous, I think, and a little too holly go lightly. But what are the things that you can get into that you're like, no, it's actually really nice to be able to do this for you, right? I had a friend who I was like, I want to do this for you. It's tiny. Please don't say no. Right? Like, don't block other people from doing things that are pleasurable to them. Helping is pleasurable. So to a lot of people. So let people help you. Yeah. Okay. I hear let people help you. And then find out where you can help in teeny ways where it's like, actually, it's very pleasurable for me to help do this for you. No big deal. Okay. All right. Then the last card for this week, Archangel, it's an oracle card. This is leadership. Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. I mean, beautiful. And it's got this oranginess to it. There's this orangey redness this week, right? The hangman's in these red pants, this red ribbon in the world. We got a lot of red and yellow in the Knight of Wands and this oranginess of pleasure. I think that's an interesting color because this is, at the sacral chakra, this is creativity. So what can you brew because it's fun, because it's pleasurable, because you like it? Like, we've just got to get out of this. Like, I have to do, you don't have to do anything. Yeah, we need to pay rent and pay our bills, but how can we do that with pleasure, right? Okay, so let me read out of the booklet because there's always more in the little booklet that it offers. All right, additional message. Embrace your power in a loving way and use it for the greater good. I'll guide your actions so they inspire and motivate others. I'll also replace any self-doubt about your qualifications with an increased desire to serve, help, and teach. When your focus is more on how may I serve, then you won't worry what others think about you. Focus upon your strengths, the many lessons you've learned, and how good it feels to be a living example of following one's divine guidance. Yeah, totally, Chris. Yes, absolutely. Chris just said, I don't have to do it. I get to do it. And I know that that's a shift in things. I know. I'm a mom. I know. Working with Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel's name means God is my strength, and this phrase describes you as well. Regardless of your background, you have God's strength pouring through you at all times. Gabriel can help you fearlessly tap into this power. She'll She'll reassure you that it's safe for you to be powerful and protect you in all the ways. Gabriel's aura is copper, like her trumpet. And when you wear the crystal stone citrine or the precious metal copper, you readily connect with her energy. It was beautiful. That's beautiful, you guys. Reading the comments. Yeah, this is a real transition point. This, again, the build up to 2019, but I think what a lot of spiritual teachers and coaches and channels kind of didn't really say is that 2019 didn't really begin until the spring equinox. So this is the upswing and the blessings and the transitions for all of the work that we've been putting in on that energetic, spiritual, magic level. But understand that all the practical pieces fold into that, right? We're here to help balance humanity and divinity. That's the only thing our soul is really here to do. We have a physical body in a 3D incarnation. We can't ignore that. So you have to work food, water, shelter, mat time, hydration, fuel, your work. What is your legacy, And so we have that aspect of it. And then we have the energetic side of it. What do the cosmos support? Where are they at? What are they asking of us as we move through? So this is a real transition point. Remember that energies in transition don't happen like a light switch on that day. Things changed for the spring equinox, right? But things are hard to shift and they're slow. So Mercury's still in retrograde, right? When it stations direct, it still won't be up to speed for 2 weeks. So I always talk about the physical body when we're just looking at movement patterns or trying to create a result or heal an injury in the body. The patterns of movement that you put in place take a minimum of 4 weeks to show up in the physical body, which is why when we look at healing an injury, depending on what kind of injury it is, it's going to take a minimum of 4 weeks, blessed be that it'll go that quickly, right? And a maximum of potentially 12 months, depending on how consistent, depending on the energetics at play, right? How much focus and belief do you have in the healing patterns that work, et cetera, et cetera. So things are slow to come into the physical realm. So know that the things you set intention on, I think this is one of the biggest lessons in the last few years of when you set intentions and aim for manifestations. My experience has been that from start to finish, it's typically a 2-year cycle. And if it's really big things that you're aiming at, it's going to be a little longer than that. One, we have lessons to learn. There are things that come into play. Can they change in an instant? Absolutely. Am I totally open to that? Absolutely. But also know that the longer it takes, the bigger the blessing, that we are often being pushed and looking to see if we're good stewards of what we're requesting and aiming at, right? If we're just asking for lightning things all over the place, but there's no staying power to it, the universe may go, they don't really mean it because they're not willing to do that functional balance of humanity and divinity. They're all in for the divinity, but not so much humanity, right? So what a beautiful week. All right, I will take a photograph of the card layout like I have been doing. I always do. Post it on my Instagram feed if you want to see the card layout for the week. Sometimes it's really nice to see it all together and can offer a little bit more insight individually. If you want to book a personal reading with me, it's at tandygutierrez.com. And what else? Oh, please like these videos. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you love the lives that we're doing, click the bell. That will let you know when I go live. Instead of me posting everywhere, even though I'll do that anyhow, because it's always slightly different. But Mondays are going to be around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It seems to work for you all best in this time frame. And what else? You all have any other comments to share about this week or questions? Maybe, maybe not. I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tangent Tuesday. We'll talk more about the movement patterns, the workouts at unicornwellness.studio there, and what you guys are going to see in April, because we're in kind of this transition time this week. And what else? It'll be a true tangent day, I'm pretty sure, because the astrology is kind of where it's going to be for a little while, and it's not epic like it has been. So we'll have more conversation on that spectrum of healing and kind of what's next. We'll see what comes through tomorrow. Oh, Tracy, you're so welcome. I love you guys. Okay, I'm going to log off here. This will be up. Please like the videos. Please share them. I know you all think it may be silly, but this is just the way of the world. If you love this content, if you love what I'm putting out there, if it's helping you transition to live with more joy and more intention and more support and more magic in the world, please share these videos. It's a big deal. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Okay? I love you all very, very much. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, this whole reframing thing, I think that's probably where, well, I don't know. I never know what's coming through on Tangent Tuesday. It really is a channeled experience, and I see what comes through, what needs to be shared. But this is a big one. This is, people work with the, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry. No. Thank you for being patient with me. I have worked that in the last year, and man, it makes a big difference. Huge. So reframe. Okay? All right. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, you guys.